am Jakara N. Holman. I am a performing artist, including film, commercial, and theater. My heart, my soul, my passion, my lifeline. I am also a captain in the United States Air Force, now serving for 8 years, and I am president of and founder of Living on Purpose, a women's transitions and sober home in the heart of Minneapolis. My home served women from all walks of life, including women that have been recently released from incarceration, women that come from domestic abuse environments, and women that just need a sisterly support in transitioning. My support include a sister accountability support from attending graduations to court appearances or buying a cake to celebrate birthdays, celebrate life, or celebrate second chances.
Why are you applying for this program at this time?
I am applying for the Naked Stages Artist Fellowship because I believe it's time. Honestly, I saw it before. I didn't move on it. A friend recently sent it back to me. And with everything going on in the world, I just believe this is a sign. It's time for me to activate my passion. I've been wanting to tell this story for so long, and with it coming back, I felt, let me do this. Let me pay attention to the signs that are given to me. I'm applying for this program because as I sit home as a community activator, as someone that help other individuals get past their situations, I can only imagine the amount of women, of men, children, individuals that are stuck at home in this lock-in due to coronavirus or an internal lock-in that can't escape domestic abuse. I can only think about the rising cases of domestic abuse. I recently learned that Governor Tim Walz announced that 2/3 of the police calls have been domestic abuse related. And not only is that a problem here in Minneapolis and Minnesota, but it's a global issue. And so we need this proposal to give awareness to domestic abuse and give others an experience that they can relate to. And the support of the program will highly help someone as a early career performing artist really feel supported in making this experience possible.
Okay, what is your proposed performance?
My proposed performance is RIDE. RIDE stands for Raven Influenced Dangerous Existence. Raven was my childhood best friend since age 14. Raven's life was taken tragically on Thanksgiving Day of 2019. It was taken as a result of domestic abuse in the sight and in the presence of their 2-year-old daughter by her child's father. Raven, like many other individuals, deal with domestic abuse. They lived in homes as children where they seen domestic abuse and then grew up into adulthood experiencing domestic abuse. They had the idea that love included war and that if you truly love someone, that included fighting for that love. And I just want to show the different stages and forms of abuse. I want to tell someone's story that ended in a tragedy and maybe help someone so that their life too does not end in that same way. Ride is also an enduring term that is collective. That means an activity shared amongst best friends. Rides are something that leads to encounters. And unfortunately, that last ride on Thanksgiving was the end of the road for Raven. And I want to stop it being the end of the road for someone else.
Okay, so what questions will be addressed?
Questions that will be addressed in my performance are, what are the stages or the cycle of domestic violence? What is battered woman syndrome or battered person syndrome, because men and other individuals deal with domestic abuse? We will address when you're in a lock-in or as a result of COVID or even an internal lock-in, how do you take care of yourself? How can we support someone in this domestic abuse environment that don't have the strength or the tools to get the help that they need? Also, Are you a bad person because you endured abuse or engaged in abuse? Are you a bad friend because you've tried so hard to get your friend out of the situation and it just doesn't help? And so for your own sanity and peace of mind, you just have to leave that friendship. Also, we're going to address the question of, do you win in a fist fight because you got the last hit? Do you win in an argument that included personal attacks? How, as a collective and as a community, does domestic abuse affect us all?
Okay, well, what artistic forms will your performance explore?
Oh, I have so many ideas. I think about even opening the performance as like a funeral. I know. And I just want to show how there are different forms that can express this experience. What I mean is that I want to use the form of, well, it's a one-woman show, but also I want to showcase music, including Chicago trap music and local trap music, and how the message and music have actually had an impact on acts of violence and behaviors. I want to showcase dance. I want to showcase also unique experience through storytelling. I have an idea to kind of bring it about as like a confessional or like shining a light on those individuals. Art, just so many forms.
Great. Well, why is your proposed performance necessary?
My performance is necessary because, as I shared, there are a rise in domestic abuse cases at this moment. Through my research, I learned that anytime families spend a great deal of time together, including vacations, including holidays like Thanksgiving, including lock-ins where that stress has no outlet to get out, there are many cases of domestic abuse, not just in Minneapolis, not just in Minnesota, but globally. This is an issue. Collectively, this is an issue. Whether you are someone directly impacted by domestic abuse, it affects us as a community and as a whole.
Now, Naked Stages involves group work, artistic meetings, workshops, an intense process and evaluation. What's your experience and feelings about this process?
I am so looking forward to it. I haven't had a supportive system in place before, and I believe that maybe it has hindered me and have kept me from not feeling motivated to share. And I'm so excited to have a cohort, to have mentorship, to have workshops, to have artistic meetings, to help me really get into the work, to challenge me. Oh, I love a challenge. To challenge me to give my best self, and to really bring this performance, this experience forward.
Well, what will you do to make a full commitment and space in your life for the fellowship?
When I am awarded this fellowship, I see myself really engulfing myself into it like a student of art, a student of domestic violence. I can't wait to really get into the work, get into the study, the research, and lose myself into it, and then be rebirthed and bring about this experience. Art is vulnerable, art is raw, and so I can't wait to give myself to that. Personally, I am willing to let go of other loves, like traveling, to be here and to be in the moment and do everything that I need to fully apply myself to bring about the performance.
And now, what work samples are you providing for experience?
So I have spent a lot of time behind the scenes as a stage manager, so I will show some of that. But also from this experience, you never know what you can do until you're faced with a certain encounter of experience. So from this experience of losing someone so close like a childhood best friend, I actually learned how to coordinate a funeral. I coordinated the whole funeral, from the production itself to completing and drawing and creating the obituary. So I will share multiple samples of that. Also, I shared a piece during the funeral, so I will give a piece of that. I will also showcase the different sides of me. So as a military officer in Biloxi, Mississippi, during my training, I coordinated with city officials this walk a mile in her shoes, where these big burly soldier guys put on these red pumps, these heels, and they walked them out, and they got to experience the hunks and the unwanted attention that really brought their consciousness about what it means to be a woman and to be, you know, objectified. And so I will show a YouTube visual of that. Also, just different avenues of myself as a performer on stage and different exhibits of that.